What do you need to death? So I love this concept because for ages I really struggled with how to let go of some things that had happened that were just weighing me down. And this is a shamanic, well, philosophy, concept, but it's something that I learnt as I went through my spiritual coaching. And it's a concept of deathing off. And often just that very word, death, puts, people into a bit of a spin, or I just don't want to think about it, or I don't want to talk about it, or, embrace the fact that of death, that it happens. Because in our Western society, we very much think of death as final, as being final, and also being quite negative and sad. But in the shamanic way of thinking, deathing and also birthing are things that just don't just happen at the beginning and the end of life. They happen all the time throughout the journey of life. And if you think about it, it's so true. You can't be 18 without deathing off 17. And, you can't start secondary school without deathing off primary school, just like you can't start a new job without deathing off the old one. And so you have this cycle of deathing off something and birthing something new. And sometimes it can be quite hard to death off and let go of something. We do need to actually mark it in the, not just the physical world, but the metaphysical world. If you've ever tried to let go of something and you're really focusing on it and your mind says you're letting go of it and that's what you're going to do, and, you're, that's definitely it, no more of that. But actually, then it just doesn't leave. It just follows you around like a bad smell. You can't actually let it go. You've tried to think it through physically, mentally, practically, and it's still hanging around. So actually, this is where the metaphysical comes in. This is where the invisible world, and remember, everything starts in that world. Thoughts and feelings and ideas are all invisible until you turn them into something tangible and physical. So doing this deathing off has to happen in the metaphysical world, and it's so liberating. I can't tell you, having done it. What happens really is you go into a place called the void, and the void is known as the womb of creation. It's where all creation began, where the universe sprang from. But it's its own, very own cave-like, womb-like place where you can actually death things off metaphysically and birth them. And I know that might be a lot to get your head around, but it's a place that you can journey to in your imagination. It's a place that's completely neutral. It doesn't judge you. And it's a place where you could do this very deep metaphysical work. And in that void space is where you really do let go of things. They are taken and eaten up by the void. And that means that there is then a space for rebirth. So you can bring something new into the world. You can birth something that feels good, that works, that's right, that's true. You're creating that space by letting go of something and deathing it off. So this metaphysical concept might sound a bit odd because in the Western world, not only do we avoid death and discussions of death, but we also don't really acknowledge the metaphysical world. If it's not right in front of you, staring in the face, it doesn't exist, but it does. Those emotions that you carry around with you, those thoughts, that just won't leave you. Those are the things that you can death off in the metaphysical world. And so if you've got something that you've been carrying about, I'd really recommend doing some work with a spiritual coach or energy medicine practitioner to help you move it on in that metaphysical space. There are other things that you need to do afterward in the physical world to make sure that consciously you've also let go. And so when you've done the journey into the void, which is, as I say, very shamanic, so it's a very relaxing, guided journey, but it's also ancient, and obviously it works, otherwise it wouldn't still be being done. And the physical practices then need to take the form of a couple of things, really. Firstly, a fire ceremony. Fire is very much purifying, cleansing, clearing the way. There's a process of doing this that helps you let go of things in the physical, and then also revocations, which are all to do with stating to the universe that you have decided that this is not the way it's going to be anymore. So there is a follow-up really in the practical physical that you need to do, but the two together are incredibly powerful. So yeah, if you really struggle to let go of something, maybe something happened to you, it's been emotional, it's been tough, and you just don't really know how to put the weight down and move past it, and perhaps you can't stop thinking about it, and you're upset, and no amount of journaling really helps. Think about moving into the metaphysical and exploring that world. I think you'll be really surprised at how amazing it is at shifting things. I know for myself, I had something I thought I'd never, as I mentioned, be able to let go of, but actually when my mind tries to go there, I'm like, nah, it's done, over it. And if you'd have asked me the year before, will I ever be able to move past it? I would have been like, no, I just don't know how. I've tried all of the practical things and no, but actually after doing the deep inner work and moving through the energy of it and changing it, I can honestly, hand on heart, tell you, it is gone. So yeah, consider it. We don't tend to do that in this part of the world. Some of us aren't as open to these ideas, but don't poo-poo things till you've tried them. Just be open-minded and go in with the I do want to shift this, and go from there.